Hi everyone, it's Christy. We are going to start a new project today. This is going to be a trifold journal. I got the idea from Yvonne Preston on YouTube, and I will leave her link below. I had to use this beautiful kit, and I think it's upside down, not that it matters, but this kit is by Dot's Inspiration Studio on Etsy. Now, I had seen this kit, I cannot remember where I saw it, but I looked it up on Etsy, and the company is in Poland, so they have limits on how many items they can sell, and so I wasn't able to purchase it, and it just became available again, and so I grabbed it. And look at all of the so much in this kit. So I'm just going to run through real quick. It's very grungy. It's called Navy Blue and Vintage Rose and Vintage Roses, and I just love it. Now, I did not get everything to print perfectly because I have borderless set up. Some of them kind of, it said it was 8.5 by 11, but some of the sides you could see, like this one has a border, and it's like 1/8 of an inch on this side, 1/4 of an inch on this side. The centers are not exactly in the center, but you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. It's off just a hair, and if I fold that to put it in the middle of the signature, it's not going to matter. I didn't want to mess with it. The kit is grungy, and it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter at all. So there's a ton of these. These are the journal pages. There's background pages, there's journal pages, and then there's envelopes. There's more envelopes. There's smaller envelopes. Oops, I missed one. And then I've printed these out on 28-pound paper. And then here's the ephemera. Now, I've printed this out on 110-pound paper, and that you can see I'm still trying to use up that package I got from Amazon that was kind of wonky. So yeah, lots of journal cards. Are they upside down? More journal cards. And then it has these. I printed these out on cardstock also. These are file folders. I'm going to use those for another project. I'm not going to use them in this project. In fact, I'm going to have so much left over that I won't even have to print anything out before I go on to the next project. So I'll probably make a file folder journal out of these. There's some postcards. Very nice postcards. Oh, it says New York. There's tags. Now you can see here where I had problems. This one didn't cut off, but the larger ones cut off a little bit, just a smidge. And like I said, I'm not really going to worry about it, but it's like there's tags for every background page, and I just love it. It's very, very similar to what I do. Then there's banners. There's some larger. They're kind of like label shapes. I don't know what else you'd call them. I'm probably going to use these for tuck spots. There's some more banners. But yeah, just an incredible amount of papers here, which came timely because I need to start using my rollover on my Instant Ink. My rollover was maxing out, so we're going to start with just a regular file folder. Now we're going to be trimming this, so it doesn't matter if you have left, right, or center fold. It doesn't matter. So when I did this the first time, I scored it and then trimmed off the bottom. But I want to be able to use the strips that are cut off, and so I am going to trim the length first. And I am going to cut them 8.5, and that's because no, I'm not going to cut them 8.5. I'm going to cut them 8 3/4 because the pages are 8.5 high, So I want a little bit of a buffer there. So I'm just going to trim this off at 8 3/4. Actually, I'm going to do it this way because that way I can recycle that tag if need be. So let's do 8 3/4. There we go. And save this because we're going to be using this for a flap later on. Okay, so now we're going to score this. Excuse me. And I'm putting the fold up against this left side here, and I'm going to use my, actually, you know what? It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put the fold on the left, and I'm going to score it 4 1/2. So slowly, I'm going to go 4 1/2. Then I want to flip the whole thing over, still have this on the left, and you can see part of it came through, but not all of it. So I'm going to do the 4 1/2 again. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do is on the short side, I am going to score this at, what is the size of this? I think 2 1/2 is what I did it. Let me look at my notes real quick. Because I had, yeah, 2 1/2. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to open this. So on the shorter piece, I'm going to put the fold up in the corner here. And I'm going to do 2 1/2 from this 4 1/2. So 1, 2 1/2, that's going to be 7. And I'm going to score that. Basically, this is going to be my cutting line. I'm going to trim this off. I'm going to close this, flip this completely over, line up that spine fold again, and from 4 1/2 I want to do 4, so I'm going to come over here to 8 1/2, and this is also going to be my cutting line. Okay, so get that over here and trim these pieces off. So like I said, this this piece right here will be great if you want to add a tab on somewhere, like we did in the Artie Mae's folio that we did, where we added the faux tab. So I'm just lining that up, and I'm going to trim that off. There we go. And I'm going to flip this piece and do the same thing. Okay, so we have those 2 extra pieces. Put those over here with the other pieces that we cut off. And basically, this is going to be our framework. So let's fold this 2 1/2 inch side in. This is going to be a tuck spot that will be glued down for a pocket there, and then this will be a flip out. So this is where we get the trifold term, because you have a pocket but then it's a trifold. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do then, before I do anything else, I'm going to ink around all of this, and I'm going to mat the entire thing. I don't need to mat on this piece, so let me make a note for myself, because that would be a waste of paper, because that's going to be glued down. But I want to mat this, this, and this, and then I want to mat this, this, and of course this will be my cover and my back. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of that, and then I will be back. One more thing I forgot. We want to put Tyvek right here. So I'm just going to trim this a little shorter than the page, and then I will attach those. Let's see, I want it, yeah, about a ½ inch shorter than that label there. And I'm just going to glue that down with some 3-in-1, because this is going to be, you know, folding in and out. And this is where our spine is going to be. So I want to kind of add that Tyvek to strengthen that. Now, Tyvek does not always ink well, but because we're going to cover everything, it will be good enough. So I'm going to ink over the top. Sometimes it'll kind of rub off a little bit, but I think it won't matter because we're going to cover everything with paper. Okay, so I've gone ahead and inked everything. I'm going to ink this part here, and I'm going to mat it, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we have everything covered. This is our front cover. This is our back cover. I just love this with the wood grain and the rose and the lace, the navy blue lace. That's so pretty. And then when you open this, you have a pocket here. And when you open this flap, we are going to add, now don't forget we've got the Tyvek in here and here. We're going to add an envelope flip here. So remember that piece that I said to hang on to that we trimmed off? This is why we trimmed it first, so it wouldn't have a score line across the middle. This, because we cut the height at 8 3/4, this ended up being about 3 1/4. And I need a pocket that's 2 1/2. So I put it on my scoreboard and I just scored at the 2 1/2 line, and then I trimmed the corners there, and that's how we're going to attach the envelope. This is going to glue down to this piece here, like that. In fact, let's just go ahead and glue that down. I'm going to glue it on 3 sides, the top and the bottom, and then close to the spine, so that it doesn't come loose. Okay, now I want to make sure when I do that I'm not, that I still fold this. So I'm going to do this like this, so I know I'll still be able to fold that. Okay, and then that goes there, and then I have a piece trimmed. Now I matted these all a 1/4 inch shy of the size. So because I cut the folder at 8 3/4, the papers were already 8 1/2, so that was perfect. So I just came in, this was 4 1/2, so I did 4 1/4, and that leaves a margin all the way around. Same thing with this one. I'm just going to glue this down real quick. Maybe. Yeah, it's coming out. Is it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just love these papers. They are so pretty. And this is the second one I've done, to this point anyway. I've got another one, but I did the papers differently. I tried to do them all the same, and this one I did not, and I actually think I like this one better, having the pages kind of, well, some of them match. I didn't want to waste, so if I could cut 3 pieces out of one, I did. These are the same piece of paper. These are the same piece of paper. So I've used 3 pages to do this. Now you can see the difference between the inked and not inked. So I will want to do some inking on here, just to grunge that up a little bit. Okay. Alright, so I have a junk mail envelope. This is just something, I don't even know where it came from. Enclose your payment. It was a bill, apparently, but I have trimmed this. Now, I made sure that it would fit in here, but you don't have to. If you don't mind it hanging over a little bit, you could use a larger envelope. But I wanted it to fit right to this flap. So I didn't want it hanging over. And I have trimmed it to 8 3/4 at the top. But what I'm going to do, I want the envelope on the back side. So I'm going to glue that right here. And this flap is going to hold that down. Get some glue down there. And then probably I'll collage this envelope mat the other side. So I'm going to go right up against that like I did before, laying down. That way I know this is going to fold back and forth, and I'm going to just fold that over the top like that. And now we have a piece. That excess glue out. Okay, and then we'll put a tall tag in the top of this one. So we've got that envelope flip. Okay, so then that will flip like so. Okay, and there will be a journal here. So let's see, what size do we want to trim this to? This envelope is 4 7/8, or I'm sorry, 3 7/8. So let's do 3 5/8. Actually, I want to move. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try and move that up just a tad because it seems like it's hanging off the bottom a little crooked. It kind of lined up. It lined up here. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. All right, so what did I say? 3 7/8. So I want 3 5/8. So let's see if I don't have a scrap. So let's just go on to the next piece. 3, you know what, I think I want something contrasting though. Oh, that'll work. Okay. 3 5/8. Oh, that's going to be impossible. So let's see. 3 5/8. This is 3 1/2, so it's going to be halfway between here. It's in the little no measurement zone there, and I've put some dots on there for myself so I could know where the 3 1/2 and 3 3/4 were, because 4 is down there, but the 8s, and then everything's rubbing off. So yeah, and I've only had this for a year, so granted I do use it a lot, but let's glue this down. I think you should be able to use your tools and not have the measurements wear off in, you know, a year's time. I've had other Fiskars products that I liked better. So, okay, I'm going to put this down here. I'm not worrying about the writing or anything like that, as far as this is probably actually the writing on the paper was upside down. I meant on the envelope. The writing on the envelope, I'm not worried about that, because it's an envelope and it's a junk journal, so you know, we're recycling. And I can't read this language, but it looks less upside down this way. I don't know if it's actual words or what it is. Okay, so I'm not sure what it says. You know how sometimes they'll make just kind of handwriting that's just squiggles, that kind of represents handwriting but doesn't really say anything. And so I'm not sure either way, I can't read it. So it probably doesn't matter whether it's upside down or not. I'm going to come along here, grunge this up. Oh, look at that. Well, let me see if I can finish this edge before I toss that. Get on there. Good enough. Alright. I'll have to say thanks for coming. I wish they were like reversible or something. I don't know how that would work, but these don't last as long as I thought they would. You just get them inked up the way you want them, and then they start tearing apart. And these are Tim Holtz. So I guess I'm just too rough with the ink. Okay, so on this side we're going to collage, but I'm going to come back to that for right now, because I think I'm not sure, but I may be running. Oh no, I have 19 minutes left. Okay, let's go ahead. So I'm not real sure what I want to put on there. I know I want to leave the window open, but I think I want to use this one. They're all very similar, you know. So let's see. I need this. I already know the height, but I want this to be, that's a 1/2 inch. So, okay. Half an inch. I kind of wanted to leave a little margin, so maybe I'll do 3/8. I think it's the gutter here. Let's see. And then I'll piece this together. If I use that as 3/8, okay. And then the next piece is going to be about 1.5. Okay, 1.5. Get this straight. I know I'm not where you can see me, but I'm trying to see these measurements. Okay, and then I'll trim that bottom piece off. And then the next piece, there's only so much room on my desk. Okay, so I've got, this is going to be here, this is going to be here, and then that leaves me with 1 3/4. Okay, 1.5. Well, I can't do it that way, I have to go this way. 1 3/4. This way. Okay. I'm probably making it way more complicated than it has to be, but let's see. Okay. So we probably should not have started with that piece. But you know what? If I mess it up, I'll put lace, right? Okay. So that Yeah, see, that's not exactly, that's okay, I'll put something there. This one needs to be cut off about there. Right. Yeah. And you know, I'm gonna also add some ink, so it's not gonna matter if it's right. I was off about 1/8 of an inch there. And I think if you just tear the paper and collage it like that, you'll have a lot more fun than if you try to measure it out like I did. Do whatever works. If you don't want a window, cover the whole thing up. Don't worry about it. So I'm gonna run the glue along here. Yeah, see, I should have started on this end. That's what happened. Everything got pushed over 1/8 of an inch. So that's okay. We'll be, this should have been 1/8 of an inch bigger. What did I do? What did I cut it? I did 1 3/4, and I should have done 1 7/8. That's what happened, but that's okay. We will make it work. And like I said, I'll probably run a piece of lace around this entire area anyway. So, okay, well that's it for today. I'm gonna get some stuff prepped so that we can add the journal part and start adding some pockets and things to it. This is not a very complicated project. It is a little time consuming to do the mats. That's about the most time consuming thing. So if you've got ephemera ready to go and you're just using random papers, you can get this done in a few hours. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you later.